decisions. Course number 5.
Welcome back. In the last video, we talked about why HODLMM exists and how it works under the hood. We covered regular AMMs, capital efficiency, bins, bin steps, and why concentrated liquidity can be much more powerful for both traders and LPs. And in this video, we're going to pull it all together into practice, and I'll walk you through the Bitflow interface and show you where to find HODLMM, how to read the dashboard, and how to create and manage your first positions. As always, this is educational purposes only. I'm not telling you which tokens to use or how much to deposit. And if you follow along, you may want to use small test amounts as you are learning. So let's jump in. So first, start by connecting your wallet, signing the transaction, and you will see your positions page, the very first page here. Scroll down. If you do have positions, they will show up here. But if this is your first time, it will be empty. Scroll down and you will see the available pairs. And we are going to open up positions in USDC and BTC. So I'll click into that pool, but notice that you do have information here, including the TVL, the 7-day volume, the 7-day fees, APR, and you can toggle them to view by ascending or descending, by TVL, volume, fees, etc. So we're going to go into USDC and BTC. So we have some important information to look at here. We have total value locked, the estimated APR, 7-day volume for this pool, and fee over TVL, which we talked about in the previous video, and the pool composition as well. Scrolling down, we want to add liquidity. So click the green button, add liquidity. Now we'll have to fill in how much of each token we want to add. I'm going to walk through 2 examples, and on the first one, I'm just going to add USDC. And it says TUSDC and TBTC for me because I'm using test tokens right now for demonstration purposes. So select the amount you want to add. If you want, you can type it in manually, or you can put in a percentage based on your balance. So I'll do 100 for now. And next, we're going to add some details related to the price range. So you can either put in a 1%, 3%, 8%, 15% default. You can customize what you put in. You can also make changes to the minimum and maximum price that your bins will be spread across. And for this one, I'm going to do a very narrow range of just 3%. And notice that the number of bins changes based on the range. If you have a very wide range, 8%, you have 161 bins here, for example. 15% range increases the number of bins to 302. So do pay attention to that. So I'll do 3%. And if you want to change what the chart looks like, you can zoom in and zoom out to have a better idea and a better view. And now we're going to select our volatility strategy, be it spot, curve, or bid ask. And for this example, I'll choose spot and then click add liquidity. And always make sure that you are paying attention to how much gas you will be using and how much gas you will have remaining in your wallet. Click approve to sign the transaction. It should clear pretty quickly, but if you'd like, you can click into that and wait for it to clear. And it's confirmed in about 5 seconds. That's great. All right, so now we're back. I'll click refresh here. It might take a minute to reflect, but for right now, I'm going to show you the second example. So last example was using single-sided liquidity. And for this example, we are going to match that liquidity on both sides. So let's say I want to do 1,000 for this example. If you select this autofill toggle, that will automatically calculate based on US dollars, how much Bitcoin will equal, how much BTC, the other token, the second token, will equal the first token. Okay, once again, so I'm confirming I've got both my tokens selected here. I'm going to select the price range. This time I'll select 8%. confirm my volatility strategy. This time I'm going to do a curve strategy where most of the liquidity hovers around the current price range, and then add liquidity. And we'll sign again. And there it is, the transaction is confirmed. So that's just two examples of how you can add liquidity to your positions. Now we'll talk about how to remove liquidity. So click here on the Remove Liquidity button. If you want to adjust the slippage, you can type that in manually. Right now 4% is recommended, but quite often you can just use 1%. Remember, if the slippage is outside of your range, then the transaction will not continue, it will abort, and you can try again. So I'll confirm 1% slippage. How much of the pool do you want to withdraw? You can either select from 25, 50, 75%, or 100%, or manually type in how much you would like to remove. I'll do 50% for now. And you can withdraw from the full range or from a custom range by dragging these sliders up and down. And there we go. We're going to withdraw liquidity there and sign the transaction. Once you're comfortable with the basics, HODLMM allows for more advanced behavior. So you can combine multiple strategies in one pool, for example, one spot style and one curve like we showed in the same token pair. You can stack positions with different ranges so that you have one wide, low maintenance range and one very narrow, high efficiency range. And you can use fewer bins depending on how precise you want to be with your liquidity. But remember, more bins generally means finer price granularity and more precise shaping, but it also means more complexity. You might want to start simple, and you can always add complexity later as you gain experience. And before we wrap up, I want to share a few best practices, especially for your very first few positions. Remember to always keep some extra STX in your wallet for transaction fees. Running out of gas at the wrong moment is an easy way to get stuck. And take notes on every position you open. You can even set up a simple spreadsheet to track the date, the pool, how much of each token you added, your price range, the number of bins, and which strategy you used. You might even add a column for what I was thinking when I opened it. And then when you come back a few days or weeks later, you can compare the results to your original plan and actually learn from your own data. Also, start small. Treat your first position as tuition, not as a big investment. The goal is to learn the mechanics, not to maximize size on day one. It might be nice to begin with deeper, more established pools that have a solid TVL and volume. That usually means smoother execution and more consistent fees. And if the protocol offers it and you understand the risks, there may be options to stake LP tokens for extra rewards, but don't rush into that until you're fully comfortable with how the base HODLMM position behaves on its own. So things to consider when you are choosing ranges. Wider ranges tend to earn more consistently, but with lower capital efficiency. Narrow ranges can offer higher potential returns, but require more active management and expose you to more price moving out of your range. And consider the volatility of the underlying token and your own schedule. If you cannot check often, err on the side of wider, safer ranges. For risk management, watch out for range alerts on your positions and be aware of impermanent loss, especially in highly volatile pairs. And never allocate more to a single position than you are prepared to see fluctuate significantly. You're not trying to win every trade, you're trying to participate thoughtfully and sustainably in on-chain markets. So by now you should have a clear picture of how to connect your wallet with HODLMM, navigate to the dashboard, create new positions, define the range, select your strategy, add to existing positions, and withdraw or close your positions when you need to. And if you really want to lock it in, I recommend opening tiny practice positions, note the details in your spreadsheet, and watch how it behaves for a few days. In the next video, we're going to talk about impermanent loss, which is a very important concept you absolutely need to understand before you size up any position. I'll see you there.
The #1 place to learn, earn, and hodl. The BFF.Army.